Hello and welcome to the 6th and latest edition of my podcast. Today, 19th of June 2018, we're going to start to look at the editing process to do with writing. Now, lots of people I speak to think that writing, getting the words down on the page, is the most important and largest part of writing a book. In my experience, that's just not the case. If you split the writing of the book into the three main parts, I see the percentage of time and energy spent on each falling into something like the following. Coming up with the plans and the ideas, about 15%. Writing the book, about 40%. Editing the book, around 45%. Editing of a book is hugely important and far too often overlooked. People go through the NaNoWriMo, so the National Novel Writing Month experience, and if they stick to it, they may walk away with the core of a book at the end of a month. But it won't work in the same way as a finished book. There'll be plot holes, there'll be gaps the reader cannot fill, there'll be continuity errors, there'll be spelling mistakes. You may describe someone as having blonde hair in one scene, the same character with red hair in the next. Don't worry about it, this is all part of writing a book. And this is why editing is so important. You'll read back through the book and take notes. You'll wonder if some parts flow well or if others don't add actually anything at all to your story. Your decisions here will determine what the final book looks like, not the writing that came before it. You'll pick up typos and find the areas that need more attention. Writing a great book is all in the editing. Keep editing till you're completely happy with the outcome. This may take several rereads and edits before you get it into the right place. This is your work and something you most likely release for others to read once it's finished, so you want it to be perfect. I've just read a book called On Writing by Stephen King, which is sort of semi-autobiographical, but also talks about the things that he feels have made him a great novelist. And one of the things he does when he finishes with a manuscript is sticks it in a drawer and doesn't touch it for 6 weeks. Then he comes back to it and starts editing, starts adding his words, changing sections, making notes. All of this on the manuscript with a pen before he goes any further. My first novel, David's Goliath, has been out for quite a while now and it's selling pretty well on Amazon. It went through several levels of editing to get it into the place I wanted it to be. I deleted whole sections and replaced them with something new because I wanted it to feel just right. Here's one of the parts of the book that went through quite a lot of editing to end up to where it is. It was a while I was working here that I started to sig my way through the day. It wasn't intentional at first, but it was something that I suddenly stopped and found myself doing. If I used a spatula in the well-stocked staff canteen, then a few minutes later I would stop what I was doing and find myself singing along to my own version of the Cliff Richard classic. Son, you are a spatula boy, and that's the way you'll stay. And so on. I thought that it might be a one-off the first time I noticed it, and it was just because I was tired, and boy was I tired. But it happened again and again, and it still happens to this day. David couldn't stop laughing. This was something he'd even tried to eliminate from his life by thinking clearly and going through all his actions in his head, but he'd not been able to stop himself from singing the most obscure tunes relating to the most mundane things that happened in his life. Only that morning he'd caught himself singing, and it took several minutes of deep thought to realise why he had a song in his head. That's a short section, a really short section, that went through several edits, several changes, several things that when I read and reread, I didn't like. There were spelling mistakes, there were typos, there were issues. The songs I used have actually changed, and it's just one of those things you start to work your way through and decide where you want that to be. That's a fairly short podcast this time. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more.